So the Boolean model, after constructing term document matrix, the weight assigned are binary weight, zeros and ones. One for the term which is available in a given document. And if the term doesn't available, 0. So binary weights are just recording only the presence and absence of the term in a given document. Finally, whatever vectors that we form for every document are weighted in terms of zeros and ones. Whether the term is appearing multiple times or one time, whatever it is assigned is only one, since binary weight only counts the presence or absence of every terms in every document. So finally, the Boolean model using the binary weight, it's trying to identify relevant document for a given query. Let's see it with example. Like in our example, our queries are gold, silver track. Gold, silver track is the query, and we have 3 documents. And these 3 documents are containing some content. The first document is containing shipment of gold damaged in a fire. The second, delivery of silver arrived in a silver truck. Now, in fact, the documents are already indexed in our index 5 by identifying content-bearing terms. And given those content-bearing terms in our index file, we can extract them. So those terms which are already identified for every document, removing stop words, any superficial difference among words are normalized, capital letters are converted into small letters, and if any suffix and the prefixes are removed using stemming. Shipment is converted into ship, damaged is converted into damage, delivery is converted into deliver, arrived is converted into arrive. So at the end of the day, we have these terms, which are the base terms. And according to the Boolean model, once we construct term document matrix, and then the relation between terms and document, including query, are registered. Since Boolean models are using binary weight, we are assigning at every point zeros and ones. If the term is appearing in a given document, we are assigning 1. And if that term doesn't appear, we are assigning 0. Take arrive. طيب
يتهيأ sir.
So arrive doesn't exist within document 1. Arrive exists in document 2 and document 3. So for the first document 0, but for the second document 1 1, and within the query we didn't get. So the word arrive or the term arrive appears in document 2 and 3, but not in document 1 in the query. What about damage? Damage is available in document 1, but not in document 2 and 3. Also, but not in the query. Deliver is not available in document 1, but it's available in document 2. It's also available in document 3. Again, not in our query. What about 5? fire is available in document 1, but not in document 2 and 3, also in our query. What about gold? Gold is appearing in document 1, but not in document 2. It appears in document 3 and also in our query. Silver, not in document 1, but in document 2, not in document 3. In our query, it appears. Sheep, first document, second document, third, and the fourth. Truck doesn't contain, doesn't available in document 1, but it appears in document 2. Also, it appears in document 3. Also, it appears in the query given. Now, using binary weight, we are trying to see which terms are available in which document. And accordingly, label is given. So when you are observing the query gold silver track, some of the documents are containing one of the query term. Document 3 is containing 2 of the query term. Document 2 is containing one query term silver, but multiple times, 2 times basically. But document 1 is containing only one term, one time gold. So which document is more relevant? When we are looking at in terms of the number of query terms they contain, document 3 is more relevant because it contains 2 query terms, followed by document 2. Why? Because even if it contains only one query term, that query term is appearing multiple times. But when we are looking at Boolean model, once it identifies or constructs the term document matrix, then it is trying to see which document is more relevant for the query given gold silver track. And according to Boolean model, we are trying to see and evaluate every document based on the query. So we concentrate on the query gold silver track. And we are trying to evaluate gold silver track based on the occurrence of the query terms in the 3 documents. So we concentrate on the query terms and evaluate which documents are containing gold, silver, track. So gold is appearing in document 1, not in document 2, then in document 3. So gold is represented by 101. Silver 010, track 011. But for evaluation, we are using the logical operators or and as per our requirement. Like let's say the query result is dependent on or. That means take gold query or silver or track. We are evaluating gold, silver, track based on the binary weight of D1, D2, D3. We are using the absence of gold in D1, D2, D3, the absence and the presence of gold in D1, D2, D3, the absence and the presence of silver in D1, D2, D3, the absence of or presence of track in D1, D2, D3. But our evaluation is based on which documents are containing query terms. When we are looking at gold, D1 already contain gold. What about D2? So we are referring to column-wise in which what looks like the distribution of gold in the three documents. So if you are looking at column-wise, the gold column, D1 is 1, D2 is 0, D3 is 1. So we are using 1, 0, 1 as a representation for gold. Then we are ORing this one with silver. When we are looking at the silver column, we will get 0, 1, 0. Then again OR it with track. When we are looking the track column, we'll get 0, 1, 1. So we ignore the query weights. We concentrate on the information we have or the binary weight we have concerning the appearance of gold, silver track, which are in our queries within document 1, document 2, and document 3. So for gold, we have 101. For silver, we have 010. For track, we have 011. Now when you OR them, when we are ORing document 1, 1 or 0 is what? 1. When we are ORing for document 2, 0, 1, 1, again 1. Because in the case of OR operator, unless and otherwise, in both documents, the query term doesn't appear, it's assigned 1. But if it doesn't appear in all documents, we assign 0. That means the query term is absent in all the documents. If the query term is appearing in one of the documents, we are assigning 1. If you are using logical operator, OR. What about track? It appears at least in document 1 and the document 3. So as a result, 1. So in all the cases, we are getting at the end of the day 1, 1, 1. That means what? All documents are relevant. All documents relevant. Now the problem happens is what if we are using the AND operator? Again, we are using the same. Binary weights. And we are collecting information. Which of the documents are containing gold and not contain gold, silver, track. So for gold, we have 101. For silver, we have 010. For track, we have 011. So, but we are using logical operator AND. That means our aim is identifying with precision which of the documents are containing all the query terms. If the query term doesn't appear in all the document, that means what? we are considering that document as irrelevant. So when we are using end, our assumption is all documents are containing, the document is relevant if that document contains all the query terms. In the case of or, our assumption is a given document is relevant if it contains at least one query term. So in the case of end, gold, silver, track, they are missing in either of D1, D2, or D3. As a result of which, if you observe in document 1, gold, it appears in document 1, but not in document 2 and document 3. As a result, this document is considered as irrelevant. What about silver? Silver doesn't exist in document 1. That means what? Again, irrelevant. What about D3? D3 doesn't contain which query term? D3, no. The query term track, if you see it in D3 document, it is available, the track query term is available in D1, in D3, but not in D2. As a result, if the term is doesn't appear in, if the query term doesn't appear in any of the document, then we are considering it irrelevant if you are using end operator. So still in Boolean model, the logical operator that we use for matching affects what kind of relevant documents are considered as relevant for that given query. All documents are irrelevant. If you are using all, it considers all documents are relevant. From this, what we can understand is, if you are using Boolean model, either we are retrieving as many documents as possible or as few documents are possible, even to the extent of non-documents or all documents, as per the example given. But our aim is retrieving some document, not all or near to all, or not one, not none, or near to none. Options should be given for the users by retrieving some of the document as relevant for their query. Why such problems are happening in the case of Boolean model? Why the Boolean model doesn't retrieve some of the critical documents only? Because it's evaluating not documents against the query. Rather, it is evaluating the document based on the query terms they contain. The evaluation is not row-wise. The evaluation is column-wise. If we are strictly considering only the existence or the presence, absence of query terms in the document, then we are not giving chance for all the terms that are available in documents and the queries as a mechanism of evaluating document against the query. Plus, the use of the logical operator doesn't help us to consider partial matching or even exact matching. Sometimes the searching relaxes the retrieval of relevant document when you are using logical operator or restrict the retrieval of relevant document because of the use of AND operator. Even if the Boolean model is a starting point for designing an R information retrieval system based on an R model that can guide us searching. Even the use of Boolean model is simple and easy, but the problem is it doesn't fulfill our criteria. We have around 4 criteria. The first thing is what weighting technique used for observing the importance of the term or words in representing the document. We prefer non-binary weight since it allows us to measure the importance of the term itself. But if you are using binary, we can't measure the importance of the term since it gives only either presence or absence, 1 and 0. But if we are using non-binary, exact measurement is there based on the frequency occurrence of every terms in every document across the document. Since Boolean model is using binary weight, we can't apply partial matching even. Again, to what extent we are taking into partial matching depends on what kind of logical operator we use. If we are using logical operator OR, it takes the partial matching into account. But if you are using the logical operator AND, it applies exact match if and only if all the query terms are available in a given document. That given document is considered as relevant if and only if all the documents are containing that query term. So unless and otherwise all the query terms are available in a given document, that document is not considered as relevant. If in some document that query if that query term is missing, as a result of which that a given document is considered as irrelevant. Basically, we are comparing in terms of the query terms, not in terms of the document against query. Just we are strictly only considering in Boolean model the presence absence of the query terms in the given document. The presence of a query term in all document means the document becomes relevant since it contains the query term. Otherwise, irrelevant. Even since it doesn't help us to apply partial matching, there is no best matching. That means there is no ranking based on the relevance of the document for a given query. Because based on the factors themselves, all the documents are not equally important for a given query. There are documents that are preferred by the users for their query. So we have to rank them. We have to apply best matching to identify which documents are more relevant for a given query. Since there is no evaluation or measurements or weighting of the importance of the term, one, we can't apply partial matching, as a result of which we can't apply best matching. So if the documents are retrieved, all documents are considered as relevant. If not, all documents are considered as irrelevant. So Boolean model is a retrieve as many documents are possible as relevant, or as few documents are possible as relevant for a given user's query. The solution is researchers come up with a vector space model that takes into account non-binary weight, partial matching, best matching. So terms are identified based on their importance to represent a document, and the documents are identified based on their relevance for a given query. So interrelated. Since terms are used for identifying relevant document. First of all, in vector space model, the terms themselves are evaluated and measured based on their importance. That means based on their frequency. So it applies non-binary, not binary. It vector space model uses term frequency, document frequency, term frequency, inverse document frequency, that are measuring the frequency of occurrence of the terms. Then partial matching using similarity measurement, like cosine similarity. If partial matching is applied, best matching is a must for ranking and for prioritizing which documents are more relevant. They have to appear at the top of the list, those least relevant at the bottom of the list. That's why nowadays vector space model is widely used, since it helps us to apply non-binary weight, partial matching, best matching. As we do earlier for Boolean model, the first step in any IR model is constructing term document matrix to see how the terms are important for each document collection that we have. After term document matrix is constructed, then the matrix will be filled with weight. And as we said, the weight that we are using for measuring the importance of the term for representing a given document is the non-binary weight. Vector space model takes into account non-binary weight, term frequency, document frequency, based on which the weighting technique used is term frequency, inverse document frequency. The weight is 0 if and only if that term doesn't exist in a given document I. If T1 exists within document 1, the frequency of term 1 in document 1 is calculated. But if term 2 doesn't exist in document 1, since the term 2 doesn't available in D1, absent, so 0 will be assigned, since term 2 is absent in document 1. So the weight is greater than 0 if the term is appearing in document 1 with some frequency. So the weights we assign are non-binary weight in this case, in the vector space model case. How to compute weights? The W that we are using for relating the two document against terms. The weight that we are using is mostly term frequency multiplied by inverse document frequency. Term frequency means the frequency of occurrence of a given term or word in a given document. Inverse document frequency means the inverse of document frequency. Rather than using directly document frequency, we are using the inverse of document frequency. How to calculate inverse document frequency? Using the formula logarithm of n capital N over small n of I. Capital N means total document. Small n means document frequency of the term I. So logarithm of the total number of documents in our collection, capital N, over the number of documents containing a given term I or word I. That will give us the inverse document frequency. Why we are using inverse document frequency? Because document frequency considers if the term document frequency is very high, that term is irrelevant. But when we are considering term frequency, as the term is getting high term frequency, that term is relevant. Rather than using inverse relationship, to use direct relationship to measure the importance of the term, the inverse document frequency will give us high value for those terms which are relevant. That's why we are using inverse of document frequency. So then, when we are calculating TF-IDF, we are getting highest value for those terms which are important. So the term frequency has to also be normalized. Why we need normalizing the term frequency? Because the occurrence of a given term in a given document depends on the number of words available in that document. Some documents are maybe huge. They are containing as many words as possible, around 300 words or 400 words. There are also documents with only less than 10 words. If you are using just the term frequency, small documents are assigning for every terms the least frequency, but those big documents with a number of words are assigning the highest term frequency. As a result, documents with many words are given more emphasis than those documents which are containing least number of words. When we are normalizing them, we are removing from evaluating the importance of the term depending on the distribution of the terms, and we are just looking at how many times the term appears, whatever number of documents are available in that given document. How to normalize? When we are normalizing, we can use like the total number of words in a given document for normalizing a given term which is extracted from a given document. Maybe in a given document J, a given term appears only 3 times, but the document may contain 27 words. That term has how much normalized term frequency? 3/27. So we are bringing the normalization between 0 and 1. That will avoid the biasness of the term frequency, which is giving the highest importance for those terms appearing in a huge document with a number of terms. So a document with 9 words, if a term is appearing 3 times, and a document with 100 words where the term is appearing 10 times, for which document that term is more important? For a term with few terms like 9, because 3/9 is around 33%. 10/100 is just 10%. So the term is getting more relevance, more importance, as we are trying to normalize the frequency of the term by the number of terms in a given document, or else many different normalization can be used. Like you can also identify the most frequently occurring terms in a given document. Then all the terms that are extracted from a given document can be divided by a term with a maximum frequency. Again, even we can go for the most frequently occurring term across the document collection. So calculate the maximum frequent terms in the document collection. But mostly it's better to go for the easiest one, which is normalized by the number of terms available in a given document for normalization. Calculate the term frequency of a given term divided by the total number of terms available in that given document. But queries are not considered as documents. Why? Because queries are small documents. Why? They are containing only few terms. So documents are considered as long document, but queries are considered as short document. As a result, when we are waiting terms extracted from queries, we have to assume there is a 15% difference between terms extracted from document and terms extracted from queries. So we start with 0.5 plus, again, 0.5 times the frequency of occurrence of the query term, divided by the normalization that we used for the terms that are identified from the document. Then multiply with the inverse document frequency, logarithm of total number of collection we have divided by document frequency of the term. So the normalization and the inverse document frequency that we are considering are the same as the normalization and the inverse document frequency we used for the term identified from the document. If we are considering information word, the inverse document frequency of information in a given document is calculated, and we are using that inverse document frequency for calculating weights for information in our query. አንድ ዙር አስነሳዋለሁ። ይቅርታ ጠብቁኛላችሁ እቺን ለመጨረስ እንድኝ እያለቀ ስለሆነ ታይሙ ማለት ነው። አንድ 30 ደቂቃ እንቆይ።
እሺ ጨርስ። ሄሎ
እሺ
አቤት። ባለፈው አሳይመንት ከሰጠን ፔፐር ሪቪው ማለት ነው።
ኧረ ቆይ አሁን እዚህ ጋር ሌክቸር መሀል ላይ አታስገቡት።
እሺ
በኋላ ከመጀመራችን በፊት አስታውሱኝ። So let's see first how to calculate the term frequency, inverse document frequency for term A in this case. Like we have information about the total document collection, 10,000. Term A appears in a given document J